Yeah, students, from past few lectures we were discussing about free body diagrams and also different types of forces. And in the previous video lecture we have learnt about pseudo force, how to calculate pseudo force, and some problems related to pseudo force. And from this video session we will be learning law of conservation of momentum and some applications based on law of conservation of momentum. What is mean by conservation of momentum? First, let me explain that. Let me consider an object of mass m. This is an object of mass m. Initially, it is moving with initial velocity, some initial velocity u, and this ball would be traveling with uniform motion. If you, even though you are not applying any force, the body would tend to move with uniform motion according to Newton's first law. But when you are applying some force on this object, you are providing some force F. If you apply some force on this object, then the velocity of the body would be increased. Now, the final velocity with which it is moving is v, and this is the time taken in order to increase its velocity from u to v. Therefore, you have basic definition of force like F is equal to dp divided by dt. F is equal to dp by dt. That's what we have already learned in Newton's second law. Or you can even write F is equal to ma. Or this can be equal to m into acceleration a. When you are providing force, when you are applying some force on the object, that is external force. If external force act on object, there is change in moment. There is change in moment. Suppose if there is no external force acting on the object, if F external is equal to 0, that means if there is no external force acting on the object, then in such cases, as F external is equal to 0, it means dp divided by dt is equal to 0. That means there is no rate of change of momentum. Differentiation of any parameter is equal to 0. It means that this results p is equal to constant. That is when there is no external force acting on the object, momentum of the object is constant, which leads to law of conservation of momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. So what does the law of conservation of momentum state? Law of conservation of momentum states that when there is no external force acting on the object, then total momentum of the system will be remained constant. This is called law of conservation of momentum. Newton's third law of momentum leads to law of conservation of linear momentum. So what does Newton's third law state? Newton's third law state F12 plus F21 is equal to 0. That means F external is equal to 0. If external force acting on the object is equal to 0, there is no change in the momentum of the system. So therefore, Newton's third law gives the explanation of law of conservation of momentum, and that too we have linear momentum here. Of course, types of momentum I'll explain it, and there are few examples. See, walking, running, swimming, jet propulsion, and motion of rockets, rowing of boat, recoiling of gun, etc. can be explained by Newton's third law of motion. Explosion, disintegration of nuclei, recoil of gun, collisions, etc. can be explained on the basis of law of conservation of linear momentum. So these are few examples where, see, if Newton's third law is valid, then conservation of momentum is also valid in that situation. Therefore, if you are unable to explain anything based on Newton's third law of motion, then you can go to conservation of linear momentum. Conservation of linear momentum is valid throughout the universe. So when there is no external force acting on the object, momentum of the system will be always constant. That is what conservation of momentum states. It's very important concept. Yeah, there are few applications based on law of conservation of momentum. One by one, I will explain in detail. Pay attention. Yeah, look here. See, let me consider a gun. Let me consider a gun. This gun is loaded with a bullet. There is a bullet also. There is a bullet. This is gun loaded with bullet. Now, initially, when the gun it is being loaded, it stores potential energy. This gun stores potential energy. Now, initially, gun is in the rest, and as well as bullet is also in rest position. So when gun is loaded with a bullet, both gun and bullet are in rest. Therefore, initial momentum P initial is equal to 0. That is because velocity of the gun is equal to 0, velocity of the bullet is also is equal to 0. Therefore, total momentum, initial momentum of the gun and bullet system is equal to 0. Both are in the rest position. Therefore, gun and bullet, their momentum, initial momentum is equal to 0. Now, after firing, you are able to see that bullet comes out with some velocity. That is, let me treat it as velocity of the bullet. That is final velocity. Let me consider that these are initial velocities, and bullet is coming out with some velocity, and that velocity I consider it as Vb. Okay, and this gun, when bullet comes out, this gun, it just recoils back with some velocity. I consider it as Vg. So why it is recoiling, I'll tell you. So that is Vg. Therefore, I can now write final momentum is equal to mass of the bullet into velocity of the bullet plus mass of the gun into velocity of the gun. That is final momentum after firing. Now, is there any external force acting on this gun and bullet system? There is no external force acting on the gun and bullet system. There is no external force acting on gun and bullet system. There is no external force. F external is equal to 0. We are not pushing the gun. We are not pushing the bullet. They are meant to be in the rest position initially. Just you are switching on the trigger. When you switch on the trigger, that is internal force which is doing work. Internal force, there will be a spring, and that spring will be doing some work. It will be pushing the bullet in forward direction. So that does not come under external force. That comes under internal force. So when the external forces acting on this system is equal to 0, what do we write? P delta P, change in the momentum, will be equal to 0. Therefore, initial momentum should be equal to final momentum. But what is initial momentum? Initial momentum of the gun and bullet system is equal to 0. Final momentum is mass of the bullet into velocity of the bullet plus mass of the gun into velocity of the gun. This gives you velocity of the gun is equal to minus of mass of the bullet divided by mass of the gun into velocity of the bullet. This is the final expression which you can write for velocity of the gun. What does this indicate? This indicate, see, usually mass of the bullet will be less than mass of the gun. Bullet mass will be very less than that of the gun. Therefore, mass of the bullet by mass of the gun is less than 1. Is it not? It is less than 1. So mb by mg, if it is less than 1, then velocity of the gun is less than velocity of the bullet. Clearly you can understand that from this equation. So clearly it is being noted that when the total system, upon this system, when there is no external force, the gun will be possessing very small velocity, which is equal to mv by mg into vb, and that is having a negative sign. And what does this negative sign represent? Negative sign represent that velocity of the gun is in opposite direction to that of velocity of the bullet. If bullet moves forward, gun will be traveling in backward direction by some value. Similarly, if bullet travels backward, gun will be traveling in forward direction with very small value, because I already told you mb by mg is less than 1. For example, if bullet velocity is 100 meter per second, gun velocity will be opposite to the bullet, and its value will be very less. It may be 0.0001 meter per second. So this traveling of velocity of this traveling of gun in opposite direction to that of bullet is simply called recoiling of gun. It is simply known as recoiling of gun. It is that in order to conserve the momentum, the gun will be recoiled in backward direction such that net momentum before and after should be equal, because there are no external forces acting on the system. In order to conserve the momentum, when the bullet is moving in forward direction, it will be possessing some momentum. When the bullet is traveling in forward direction, it has some momentum. In order to make it 0, gun will be traveling in backward direction with an opposite sign. So overall net momentum change will become equal to 0. This is what law of conservation of momentum, application of law of conservation of momentum. Recoiling of the gun is in order to conserve the linear momentum of the whole system. This is one example. Coming to the next application, we have a block. This block is in rest, and it is resting on the smooth surface, because on the smooth surface friction is equal to 0. There is no opposing force. Frictional force is equal to 0, and this is able to move smoothly. It is able to move left or right. As there is no friction, it is able to move easily. And there is a bullet of mass small m, which is coming with velocity vb, and this block has mass capital M. we are considering that block has mass capital. Initially, only bullet is possessing velocity, but the block is in the rest position. Now, when the bullet come and hit the block will be moving right side. By your general experiences in your daily life, you can understand that. When bullet come and hit this block and bullet both will be moving right side. So why? What is the reason for this? See here. There is no external force acting on this system. There is no external force acting on the system. So I can write F external is equal to 0. If there is no external force acting on the system, it means that whatever the initial momentum of the system is there, same momentum should be there after also, right? Now I will be writing initial momentum of the system. Initial momentum of the system is equal to mass into velocity of the bullet plus 0. This is velocity of the bullet and mass of the bullet. Initial momentum of the bullet is non-zero, but whatever the block is in the rest position, so velocity of the block is 0. Therefore, second term is equal to 0. This is initial momentum. Initially, momentum of the whole system consists momentum of the bullet and momentum of the block. Momentum of the block is 0. Momentum of the bullet is non-zero. Now, this should be exactly equal to final momentum. Now, what is final momentum? Final momentum, what happens here is the bullet get embedded into the block. So this bullet, whatever it is, this bullet get embedded into the block. It cannot be able to come out from this block. That depends upon the velocity of the block and thickness of the velocity of the bullet and thickness of the block. If thickness of the block is very, very small, then bullet can emerge out from the block. But here in this case, we are considering that bullet is emerging into the block. So when the bullet emerge into the block will be possessing some velocity, and that I am considering it as V. Therefore, final momentum will be equal to mass of the bullet plus mass of the block into velocity of the block. And this V is equal to common velocity for block and bullet. This V is velocity, common velocity for both block and the bullet. Now, according to law of conservation of momentum, from law of conservation of momentum, I can write initial momentum is equal to final momentum, and initial momentum is mass into velocity of the bullet. This is equal to m plus capital M into common velocity. I can now write down common velocity V will be equal to m divided by m plus capital M into velocity of the bullet. Clearly, if suppose mass of the block is mass of the block is greater than mass of the block is greater than mass of the bullet. In such cases, this value small m divided by m plus capital M will be less than 1. Therefore, velocity of the block is less than 1. Velocity of the block will be very, very small. If at all mass of the block is very large than that of mass of the bullet. If mass of the block is not that much greater than that of the bullet, in such cases, the V value, that means velocity of the block, is notable. Both can be moving with some particular velocity, and that is common velocity. Remember that. So we are coming to the next example, application of conservation of momentum. So in this example, we have a boat. This boat has some length L. It may be very large value or it may be very small value. This boat has some length L. That means from here to here, its length is L. L is length of the boat. L is length of the boat. And the person is resting on this boat initially. So boat and person initially are in rest position. Now what happens is that this person is starting his motion. He is traveling a distance yes. So when he is traveling distance yes in forward direction, in order to conserve the momentum, boat should go backward by some distance. Boat should travel some distance d backward. Okay, so what actually happens here? When person move forward by distance yes, in order to conserve linear momentum, in order to conserve linear momentum, boat move in opposite direction. Boat move in opposite direction by distance d. Okay, now you can use law of conservation of momentum, and remember this is also internal force. There is no external force acting on the person or the boat. Just person is walking on the boat. Therefore, this comes under internal force only. Remember that internal forces cannot change momentum. Internal forces cannot change linear momentum of the system. They cannot change linear momentum of the system. So as these are whatever we have discussed so far, in this third example also, the person is walking on the boat. It is internal force, like he is putting some effort on the boat in backward direction so that he is moving in forward direction. That comes under internal force. It's not an external force. So I can write P initial should be equal to P final. Okay, initial momentum is equal to final momentum. And you can use the same thing here also. Initially, the person and boat both are in the rest position. So therefore, initial momentum can be equal to 0. This is equal to final momentum. The person is coming to motion and boat also comes to motion. So therefore, I can write mass of the person into distance traveled by the person is S by time taken T, plus mass of the boat into distance traveled by the boat into time taken T. That should be equal to 0. So this is initial momentum. Both are in the rest position. Final momentum is this. This is mass of the, this is final momentum of the person. And this term it is for both. Okay. Now just I write it as m into distance traveled by time taken is equal to minus capital M into distance traveled by time. And in this case, one small thing you need to understand. If you are considering this total system, the whole system is the combination of mass of boat and as well as mass of the person. So initially both are in the rest position, but when the person is moving, it's not only it is not only the boat moving, both boat and person is moving. So therefore here we need to consider that I have made one small mistake. I've made one small mistake, kindly excuse me. So see here, this is what person is in motion. I can write it as mass of the person into distance traveled by the person with respect to time taken. That is initial momentum. And plus boat is initially in the rest position. And this person starts to move and he travels a distance, yes, in some time taken. That's what I am writing here. That is equal to when finally both boat and person are combinedly moving. Therefore, I can write M plus capital M into, there is some distance traveled by the boat with respect to person. So that distance I am writing it as d, divided by time taken t. So from here, both sides you can cancel this t. As a result, d can be written as mass ms divided by m plus capital M. Fine. So this is distance traveled, where d is equal to distance traveled by boat. And remember, usually boat mass is very large than that of the person. Therefore, distance traveled by the boat is very, very small, because in the denominator the value is less. So as m divided by m plus capital M is less than 1, therefore d also will be less than 1. So distance traveled by the boat is very, very small compared to that of distance traveled by the person. Explosion of bomb is also one more example of law of conservation of momentum. And movement of the strikers on striker and coins in the carom board, that also comes under law of conservation of linear momentum. So let us consider that, let us initially say we have a bomb. This is a bomb. Initially it is in rest, so therefore its initial velocity is equal to 0. Now what would happen? This bomb explodes. Being in its own position, we are not applying any force. External forces acting on the bomb is 0. There are no external forces acting. Bomb is initially in the rest position. It itself, due to some internal potential energy, this bomb would undergo explosion, and this explosion takes place into as many number of parts like this. There will be many number of parts which are traveling in different directions, and their masses are also not equal. This is after explosion. This is after explosion. Now after explosion, you could observe that all the masses does not move in same direction. This mass move in one direction, this mass move in one direction, this mass move in one direction. All these masses will be moving in random directions like this. Okay, so after explosion, each particle move in different directions in order to conserve linear momentum. In order to conserve linear momentum, all these particles will be moving in different directions. Like for example, what is P initial? P initial should be equal to P final. What is P initial? 0, because the bomb is in the rest position. What about final velocity? After explosion, each particle will be moving in different directions. So I will be writing it as m1 v1 bar plus m2 v2 bar plus m3 v3 bar, so on, and this total should be equal to 0. Now clearly v1 bar is not equal to v2 bar, not equal to v3 bar, so on, and their directions are also different. If one is positive, the other one may be negative. Like that, positive negative values get cancelled, such that the final momentum also tends to become 0. Suppose if v1 is taken as positive, v2, if it goes backward, it will be negative. Like that, one is positive value and the other one becomes negative, the other one may be positive, the other one may be negative. Like that, some of the terms may be positive, some of the terms may be negative. As a result, overall net will be equal to 0. So this is the valid explanation for law of conservation of momentum. Same thing happens in case of carom board also. The striker will be initially in motion, and the striker will be possessing some momentum. So that means momentum initial, which is equal to momentum of the striker. Momentum of the striker, and remaining all coins are in rest position. Okay, as the coins are in the rest position, finally all the coins comes to different directions. So mass of the first coin into velocity of the first coin, mass of the second coin into velocity of the second coin, plus so on. This total should be equal to initial momentum of the striker. So in order to conserve the momentum, all the coins will be spreading in multiple directions. Therefore, net momentum of the system will be equal to 0. So these are the two examples of law of conservation of momentum. The pieces after explosion of the bomb will be traveled in different directions in order to conserve the momentum. Similarly, the coins hit with the striker will be traveling in different directions in order to conserve linear momentum.